welcome back everyone, welcome back to the final day here of the Crank Gathers. The Crank Gathers playoffs day number 4, season 4 playoffs day number 4, the final day of the tournament. We here to crown our champion. I'm of course just VIP. With me I'm joined by these amazing players and by the people in the chat as well. Welcome. Before I get ahead of myself, a big shout out to Kaiser Micah in the chat. Thank you so much for gifting 5 subs to the community. Thank you. We appreciate the support as always. Gracias, papi, gracias. We do appreciate it. I hope you enjoy the content, the casting, and the StarCraft as we are back with our final day of Crank Gathers. Now, for those that are curious, for those that are maybe tuning in for the first time, this event is a big team league. It's a big team league tournament that has been organized by CranKy. CranKy J1 Choi has been hard at work piecing this all together. Of course, Chijik is the main sponsor. You can see their logo top right. They are a Korean streaming platform, and all the live coverage of this event has been on that platform. That is why this is not a live cast, this is a replay cast, due to the fact that of course the event can only be live casted on the Chijik platform. I do recommend it, especially if you want to tune into some Korean StarCraft and Korean streamers, and also Korean players as well. They also stream their POVs over on Chijik as well. So you can check it out there. Again, Crank has been organizing quite a lot of StarCraft related events with them, so it's been great to see him kind of making progress and growing the brand and growing StarCraft over on Chijik. Meanwhile, again, the main event is upon us here. Throughout the course of the past couple of months at this point, we've been covering the qualifiers alongside the group stage and the playoffs as well. It's been a very long event, and we've been here bringing it to you live in English. And again, you can catch up with all the VODs over on YouTube. Again, we've been covering this for now like 2 months, coming on 2 months at this point. But this is a team league in the StarCraft Evolution game mod. This is a mod that does pit together StarCraft Evolution versus SC2. They do face off in a 1v1 format. But remember, this is a team league. We've had the best teams in the world face off. Teams like Basilisk, teams like CRHB, who of course did just get knocked out in 3rd place. Stowny Balls, for example, Shopify Rebellion. They are all teams that have fallen. And now we are down to our top two teams here of the league. Team Liquid versus Onside. Let's go. Onside, of course, featuring Maru, featuring Ryung, featuring Zoun. Meanwhile, we do see Team Liquid with Cure, Clem, Skillis, and a Laser. Now, this is going to be a rematch. These 2 teams did face off previously in the upper bracket finals. Now they're in the grand finals. Onside did defeat Team Liquid previously in a bit of a more one-sided series. We'll see if Team Liquid can recover and bounce back. I will say that one of the weak links in Team Liquid's team in their previous showing was Clem. Remember, Clem, he is the best Terran player in StarCraft 2, but StarCraft Evolution is a different kind of format. It's a different kind of game mode, a game mod even, and Clem, you could definitely tell that he was very unfamiliar with said mod, but based on his performance last night, it looks like that he has, or in day 3 of the playoffs, it looks like Clem, he has been practicing, he's been improving, he is a lot more familiar, he's a lot more in form, in shape. You again have a Laser, who was the ace player, who was looking very strong in day 3's event, and of course you do have Cure as another strong pillar for the team, and Skills as well, who also devotes a lot of time to StarCraft Evo. So they're looking in better shape, in better form, but we'll see how they compare. We shall see as we're getting ready for our best of 7. Now, also very quickly here, the format, it is a greater best of 7, but it is also it's a greater best of 7, that's true, but it's also like constructed by best of 2s. So up first we have Zoun. We have Zoun versus Cure. They're going to be facing off in a best of 2. The way this works here is that if either player wins 2-0, the other player is knocked out, and the team has to field a replacement player. So if Cure takes down Zoun 2-0, then Onside have to field either Ryung or Maru to step up in his place, and Team Liquid get 1 point, and Cure stays on. Cure stays on until he's knocked out. If we do tie 1-1 in this best of 2, because remember, it's a best of 2, not a best of 3, if Zoun and Cure, if they each win 1 game, bam, they knock each other out. They're both out, and both teams get 1 point each. They get 1 point each. But here we go. We're going to be jumping. And again, this is old school WTL format, World Team League. If you watch World Team League, you'd be familiar with this best of 2 all kill format. But Here we go. Here we go. We're going to be leading game one. Game one is going to be on Fighting Spirits between Zoun and Cure. We have our starting players. Let's jump in. Let us jump on in. As I believe the way this works here is that a coin is flipped, and then we do have our starting player being able to pick their race. And spawning in the top right corner of Fighting Spirits, we have the red Protoss player. We have the South Korean Protoss, SE2 Protoss as well, representing on side. It is Zoun. And spawning in the bottom right hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the South Korean Terran player. We have the blue Terran, the Brood War Terran. It is Cure for Team Liquid. So let us go. So we have our best of two here. Welcome to Fighting Spirit. Fighting Spirit is an interesting map in the map pool. So it is a 4-player spawn map. You can spawn in bottom right, top left, and bottom left as well. So there is a bit of an RNG factor. We have found ourselves coming into close spawns. So what that means is that because both Cure and Zoun are on the same side of the map, we do have a shorter rush distance than we would have had if we had spawned diagonally instead. So closer rush distance by ground. This does favor aggression, and we have seen a lot of all-ins in this same scenario. In this same spawn location, you can all-in very hard and very fast, and it does hit incredibly strong, as Zoun does find Cure immediately. Cure going CC first. So CC first out of Cure is scouted and is going to be disrupted a little bit here. Another SCV has to come down to help defend. 2 more SCVs are being sent down. Zoun being so annoying here. A nice start for Zoun. Yeah, nice start. The other thing that I should mention, though, is that when it comes to the expansion layouts and locations, we've brought this up all the time. We'll continue to do so. On Fighting Spirit, this third base is so difficult to defend. I mean, the base itself is secure, like narrow choke point, narrow ramp coming into the high ground. Like, the base is solid, don't get me wrong, but what makes it difficult to defend is the distance. The distance you have to travel defensively between this third base and your natural is very long. There's just a lot of room, a lot of area to traverse here. Because of that, especially in the early to mid game, when you have limited supply, it can be very difficult keeping up with your opponent's aggressive movement and to defend either location. So we have seen many players struggle to defend their third expansion. Meanwhile, Cure is going for a 3-rack stim timing. This is a very standard build in TVP. We saw a lot of mech out of Cure yesterday in day 3 of the playoffs. Here we're seeing some bio. Let's go. This can eventually transition into mech, don't get me wrong, it is possible, but initially a stim timing. What do we have here? The Academy. The Academy is on the way. Now, for those that maybe are a little bit less familiar with StarCraft Evolution, this is a build that has been a part of the SE Evo meta for over a year at this point. It was very, very trendy. Initially, it would just kill, but nowadays, it's just a good way to gain map control, to open up. Your opponent should be able to defend against this, and we build up into the mid game. Now, the reason why this hits so hard, of course, is because when you make the Academy, you can start stim, but also but also when you make the Academy, you unlock the ability to make medics. So you can make Marines and medics all from the same production building, whereas previously in SE2, or I guess later in SE2, you do need a starport to make medevacs. So you have to invest into the factory, into the starport, into medevac production. It means that your Marine support hits up much later. Meanwhile, nice trap by Cure. Oh my god, it comes in from behind. It looks down the Stalker. This Stalker should not escape. Oh, force a recall. And doesn't. Waste of a recall here. Ay. Remember, the energy is spent and recall is on cooldown, and it was not worth it as we failed to save the Stalker. So nice catch by Cure. Moving out across the map. Stim is almost done. At the same time, it does shade in. Yeah, shades into the main base, getting 1, getting 2 SCVs. So some nice counter damage here by Zoun. But Cure, he's about to get across the map. What do we have to defend? Oh, we got 1 adept. We have 1 battery. Very limited units here to defend. Cure's coming. Stim is almost done. Cure's moving in. Cure, he didn't make any medics, by the way. Sorry, he did. I was just looking at production tab. But 2 medics. 2 medics have arrived, which means we can stim a little bit more freely. The battery is done, and I believe Zoun will hold. With the help of this battery, it should be enough. We'll see. Oh, does stim in? Yeah, it does stim in. Is going to be forced back. Zoun holds. Zoun, he does hold on, he does defend. Cure is going to be deflected. Behind this, we have U238 shells on the way. That's going to be, of course, Marine range. We have the eBay here for +1, and we're settling into the early game. calming down, we're settling in. At the same time, you can see Curie wants to try to catch out the army. Once again, the battery though is ready. Ooh, one stalker goes down. He's able to DBS through. It does DBS through the shield battery, gets one stalker, gets 2 adepts, and can he keep going? He can. Yeah, he can. He'll get one more stalker. But he's running out of marines. Does focus on the probes. Gets another 4 workers as well. And again, not a bad trade here by Cure. Whereas the kill, it was 12 marines and 1 medic. The other medic barely does try to get away, but takes down 3 stalkers, 2 adepts, and 4 workers. Remember, marines are cheap. Marines are cheap. Medics less so. As once again, Cure, he will bypass the main army. Risky move here by Cure. Zoun will expanding towards Cure. Again, we're going to be touching bases as both the third base and the natural are on the same screen, right next to each other. I mentioned earlier at the start of this game how aggression is favored because of that spawn location. Soldiers are deflected. Cure, he gets across the map. He's in his clutch force field. Oh no! Yeah, clutch force field does buy some time, and these marines are being cleaned up. Yeah, they're being cleaned up here. He does trade. He does get 1 stalker, but just the 1. Now, at this point, it's getting a little bit wasteful, right? Cure, he just threw away a massive chunk of bio here. He killed only 1 stalker. This was not worth it. This was not worth it. You see Cure scanning, looking for the third base. From here, he's switching into tank production. Getting to siege mode. Cure is being contained. And Zoun has gained map control. He's gained map control. From here, we have Zoun going for a gateway explosion, delaying splash damage, going into a heavy zealot setup. It's a lot of charge lots. A lot of gateway units. And Cure is in a rough position. As he builds up his tanks, he should be secure on 2 bases for sure, but claiming a third is going to be so difficult. Zoun is free to get his own third base, saturate, and potentially even just get a 4th base and take up into Storm or Colossus. The pressure is on Cure. We spoke at the beginning of the game how going 3 racks can lead into mech, and you're seeing ion thrusters being researched. So we have 3 factories, ion thrusters, 4 factories. This is a mech transition, but the reality is that trying to shift gears into mech with all the upgrades, siege mode, ion thrusters, spider mines as well, getting all the machine shops up and running, it does take some time, and it does mean that Cure is stuck at home. Like, he doesn't really have any pushing power anytime soon. You can see Cure trying to claim his third base. Is going to get spotted. He's going to try to break out. Zoun does notice. And he's going to try to dive in. Yeah, the tanks are exposed. He's going to lose every single tank here. 3 tanks go down. Massive losses here for Cure. And we just spoke about this, how Cure, he had no pushing power. He tries to push out. He gets punished. He gets punished for it. Bunker will fall. Boys are being pulled into all the zealots. The SCVs are going to go down. Again, heavy losses here for Cure. Warping into the main. And it's getting in hand. It's getting in hand here. 10, 11 SCV kills. They'll say get into the main base and mineral line. More SCVs going to be going down. And Cure is getting torn apart. Zoun moves in, catching more SCVs. Force field on the rape as well. He locks him in. He locks him in on the low ground. He is also still distracting the main base. Still sniping more SCVs. Got another force field. Yo, let's go. We got the fire back. But again, won't save these. Oh, as they do barely get away, it looks like there was a bit of a gap here in the force field. Yeah, there was a gap, but despite that, 29 SCV kills, critical damage. Zoun keeps warping in. He wants that third base. Cure tries to evacuate, but I believe the third should go down. As Cure cannot save it. From here, Zoun can recall. Cure, he does slip by. That's a kill. Back at home, there's no battery here at the third base, but there is a recall available. It's also going to be cleaned up. There's that recall. Recalls back home. Now, what's scary here is it does recall back home, but we're still outside the natural. Like, that's how small this map is. That's how short the rush distance is. We're still already outside the natural base of Cure, so Zoun is still in position. Prison back into the main base. More SCVs going down. As I mentioned, Cure at this point has been broken. He cannot keep up. Not like this. Losing another 2 SCVs. And Esther's down. who I would say is one of the weaker links on his team here, just because of his inexperience in StarCraft Evolution. And I would say Zoun, he's the least experienced in SC Evo out of all the onside boys. Despite that, I mean, here playing SC2, playing his SC2 Protoss, he is looking to dominate, looking to punish. As I mentioned, the soldiers came off of the back of Cure being overly aggressive, right? The early sim timing, the initial sim timing was fine, but then he kept rallying across the map. He kept sending his Marines across the map, his medics as well, and there were diminishing returns, right? Like, over time, he was doing less and less and less damage, and he was throwing away a lot of bio, meaning that he was that much more exposed, right? He was that much more vulnerable to aggression because he had that much less to defend. So Cure, it all culminated in him trying to get his third base up. Unable to do so. We have that mech transition going into spider mines, into vultures. A couple of vultures do sit by. As the main army is here outside of the natural. Pushing into the siege line and pushing into the spider minefield is not going to be easy. It's a good way for Zoun to throw away a lead. Zoun should wait until Cure tries to expand again. Like, there's no rush. There's literally no rush here for Zoun. We just got to calm down. And wait for Cure to move out. Because eventually he'll have to. As Cure is rebuilding his third TC, it's just now finishing up. Zoun can take this time to start to build up some splash damage. I'm still a little bit surprised, but Zoun, he has no Storm. There's no Storm or Colossus. That's a little bit shocking to me. Instead, Stargate, this helps going into a fleet beacon, into the mothership, but I'm a little bit concerned that we are skipping splash damage. I mean, Zoun is still very far ahead. It might just not matter, but it is a risky thing to do, regardless. Oh, I guess it's not bio anymore. No, yeah, it's fine. In my brain, I was still thinking. In my mind, it was still like bio tank. It's not. It's vulture tank. Now we don't need splash damage. It's fine. Myself had to reconcile with the fact that Cure was switching to mass vulture. Uh oh. Vultures, they do step out. Yeah, Zoun, he's out of position. He rotated with his entire army, so there's a massive opening here. Vultures, they can distract, they buy some time. And this will allow Cure to attempt to expand. Vultures are moving in. Do we have the defensive weapon? We do. Yeah, no Spider-Man's being set up at the same time as Zoun. He does poke forward. This is going to be a lot of tanks. This is where I would want to see more than just one Stargate. Because right now we're just setting up for a mothership, but I would want to see like 3 Stargates. 3 Stargates so that we can start Tempest production. A secure way to break a siege line like this of tank mine is Tempest. I mean, technically anything Skytoss related, but Tempest is just more efficient. As Prison gets in, goes to the warp in. Zalse shut down some of the upgrades. And Cure, he's slowly building up in supply. Oh god. Attempted friendly fire, didn't quite work out. But again, this is a very slow transition into Skytoss. Very slow. Likewise, Zoun could have taken more expansions. We're heavily oversaturating the main, 12/4. So this transition into the mid to late game, it's a little bit shaky here for Zoun. He's making mistakes. go. We have tectonic destabilizers on the way. By the time we're getting into these Tempests, I mean, we're already switching the Goliath. Oh, we're getting that anti-air. Science vessels, they're out for the EMPs. Get ready with their lockdowns. Okay, moving in. Oh! Yeah, would you go for the dive? Yeah, we go for the dive. Tanks are clumped up. We'll get 1, 2, maybe 3 tanks, but the Archons are going down, and Zoun has to back off. He has to back off. In the end, Cure, he will successfully expand. Carrier? Not the bait. Yo, seeing a carrier switch before Tempest, it always tells us that Zoun, he's getting baited into trying to end the game earlier. I mean, you know, there's not that many Goliaths, thankfully. There's like 2. Oh, oh my god, he blinks into the minefield. He's down. Here's Zoun blinks in. Zoun plummets in supply. Once again, a massive misread here from Zoun. He blinked into the minefield. He lost everything. Yeah, Zoun lost everything. Zoun, he has no bank. Cure is going for the counter attack. He just got a fresh binding base. And Cure's coming. Oh, no. Zoun was miles ahead, by the way. And that gap is closing. Zoun does still have more bases, he has more mining, don't get me wrong, but Zoun needs time to build up his army. This is also why we mentioned that Zoun, he had a very late transition to Skytos, so his Skytos army is still lacking. He also had a very late 6th expansion, or 5th expansion. No shot. Skir is moving in. To get the recall. Save some of the Zealots. Now, what I will say is that the Goliath count is still quite low. It's still only 2, right? Getting up to 6. We're slowly building up more. Carriers are revealed. Carriers are revealed. There's still some Marines here in the mix. They will help against Interceptors. Interceptors, they will go down. This is why carriers are a bait. If you're out, there's a PSA. Carriers, they're always a bait, man. Your Tempests are just better in every way. As without Interceptors, they just cannot engage. And Zoun has no bank. Like, he can barely afford this to replace Interceptors. No. Now, the scary thing for Zoun is that he is committing into, like, the mass carrier switch. The advantage that Tempest would have in this kind of position here is that Tempest, because of the increased range, you can make use of terrain in such a way where you can avoid any kind of ground army, right? Because the ground army has to try to get under the Tempest, specifically Marines and Goliaths. But with carriers, they have less range, they're much more vulnerable. On top of that, Interceptors move in very close, so anti-air units like Mass Goliath, Mass Marine, they actually can influence this battle, they can shut down the Interceptors, and they can even catch out the carriers themselves. As Goliaths, they pop off, they clean up all the Interceptors. Carriers are just dead supply. They're just dead supply at this point. Like that. Whereas otherwise, we could just be getting free damage with Tempest, right? You just get free shots off. You kite back. You get more free shots off. Making use of this ravine to make sure that the units never get within range. And now we're trying to commit in. The Zealots are breaking through. Yeah, Zealots are breaking through. They're getting on top of the Goliaths. And there's not enough Goliath supports. Yeah, Goliaths are on their own. They're on their own. And it's the ground army that breaks through. Whew. Okay, Zoun still got this. The Zealots, they broke through the tanks. The Archons, they got on top of Goliaths. GG gets called. And Zoun will take the game. But Zoun made this closer than it needed to be. GG, well played with that. Zoun, he will take down Cure. Again, Zoun had a massive lead, a massive advantage. He did his best to throw away his lead, is what I will say. Did his best. Thankfully, Cure, with only a 1 base economy, he could only produce so much. And towards the end there, he had plenty of Goliaths, but again, he still needed that splash damage support. Whether it would be tanks or whether it would be spider mines, he still needed more support for the ground army. We saw Zealots and Archons, they break through. They did break through. GG, well played. Zoun does take the lead in the series, and now we're loading into game number 2. Once again on Fighting Spirit, but now it's time to reverse those roles. Now it's going to be Zoun's turn to play Brood War. It's going to be Kira's turn to play SE2. Daily Academy Scream. Yes. That Academy Scream is so iconic. It's very, very iconic. It sparks joy, Pappy. It sparks joy. As spawning in the top right hand corner of Fighting Spirit, we have the red Protoss player. We have the South Green Protoss, the now Brood War Protoss. For on side, it is Zoun. And spawning in the bottom right hand corner, we have the South Green Terran player. We have the blue Terran. For Team Liquid, it is Cure. Same spawns. That's crazy. We have same spawns here, top right and bottom right, so we're right next to each other. Once again, the way this format works, WTL format is a best of 2, so we play on the same map twice, but one game, we have SE2 Protoss, the other game, Brood War Protoss. Same with Cure. Game 1 was Brood War Terran, Game 2, SE2 Terran. For now, though, Zoun is looking for his opponent. He's searching, he's scouting. Likewise, Cure is getting up. He's building up his gases. Unlike last game, is not going CC first. No CC first here. He's going Rax Expand. Oh, sorry, double gas opener. So Rax in a factory into expansion. So very safe build here by Cure. Very safe, very tech heavy. The double gases tells us that he's going for a faster factory. And delayed CC. This can lead into Reaper Hellion, it can lead into early Starport, into early Banshee play, drop play, early Cyclone. Eyes are on Cure. Eyes are on. Here again, we're just going to be opening up. Zoun does find Cure. Does find him once again because those spawn locations are going to be very aggressive early on. Last game that led into Zoun successfully being aggressive, punishing Cure's aggression, I should say, and containing Cure in 2 bases. Cure eventually broke out and got a 3rd base, and we saw Zoun take some really bad fights and have a really shaky and late transition, getting into a longer game. But Zoun got there in the end. He got there in the end. The mass expansions paid off to be able to allow him to afford some bad trades. Zoun took some heavy losses last game, but thankfully, because it was on 6 bases, he could afford it. He could still barely sustain himself and build up, more so than Cure specifically. But at this time, we're going for a robot opener into a bay, into what looks to be a Reaver drop. And Reaver does go down. Nice defense here by Zoun. But we're expecting a bay into... Yep, there we go. Early Observatory first, into early detection. We're expecting a bay into Reavers, but we'll keep an eye on Zoun. Keep an eye on him. Cure now does slip in, does confirm the robot opener. Oh, boys being pulled and doing any probe kills. Gets 1. 2. Barely 2, so 2 probes do go down. Reapers are cleaned up. And there's that bay for the Reaver. So again, we're going for the Reaver drop. At the same time, Cure behind this is going for his own 1-1-1 setup into an early Woodermine drop. Spotted by the Observer. Crucial moment here for Zoun. Zoun is aware. Last going to be getting ready. Divine Drop comes in. Oh, catching out 2 probes. Catching out 2 workers so far. Breaks in, pulls away. No major losses here for Zoun. Kira does at least keep the Widow Mines alive, so it does keep him alive and can always go back in. Zoun will deflect. And Kira is just securing himself. The Reaver drop has potential, don't get me wrong, but again, there's Vikings, there's some anti-air. We can see the Viking here stationed outside of the natural, ready for the shuttle. Speaking of, the shuttle is waiting for the Reaver. Behind us, going for the Citadel. This is for Zealot legs into a gateway heavy composition. We have Reavers to support, but just to support. As we have a bit of a slower paced early to mid game. Now claiming his own 3rd base. Cure, likewise, still on 2 bases, still building up. Gravitic Drive is just now finishing up. And we're moving out with our first drop. Now again, the Reaver is a mixture between the Disruptor and the Immortal. It is relatively robust, obviously very slow, very slow as a unit, but has a lot of potential, of course, when it comes to mineral line harassment, or even trading with the clumping up armies, like Marines. Mine Drop does distract. Oh, the retargeting, the unburrowing. We're buying a lot of time here. Yeah, we're buying a lot of time as these workers, they cannot get back to mining. Jesus, oh my god, finally we get 1 shot off. Yeah, Widowmine goes down. And do we retarget? Oh my god. He gets 1, there we go, he gets 1 probe. 1 probe for 2 mines, but so much delayed mining time. Likewise, the Reaver drop was delayed. As Zoun was distracted. All the attention was here at the mineral line defense. In position. It looks like Zoun wants to try to catch any kind of move out. He's not going for any attempted harass here in those bases. I mean, there's a tank in position. We have plenty of bio here at the natural. I would say the main base is a little bit more exposed, but likewise also 1 tank sieged up in the main. 1 tank ready. Okay, catches 2. He's 2. Okay. Whew. That was close. That was very close. As it looks like Kiro's trying to catch Zoun, not paying attention. 2 Marines go down. Shot goes off, catching 2 Marines. So we have our double Reavers. Oh, the double disable. Oh no! Oh my god, takes 1 shot to the face, but there we go. 3rd disable with that. Curie breaks on out. Yeah, the Ravens, they punish, they shut down the shuttle, the Reavers, and Zoun will lose everything. He'll lose everything in the blink of an eye. He will escape with 1 Dragoon. Back at home, he does have 1 more defensive Reaver. Curie's breaking out, he's broken out.
Complete.
And what are we pushing? He still has 1 more disable. He lands it. Ooh, we'll take 1 shot to the face. And 1 massive connection. Dust him in. Reaver still not yet ready. Oh, but we're throwing away the Ravens. And Ravens are thrown away, but a miscontrol there from Cure. Widowmine setting up. Widowmines are setting up here. The Viking goes down. Baits out the shot. That's also going to be cleaned up. Cure trying to move in. Here comes the flanking Reavers who's dropping. Oh, he's trying to. Oof. Yeah, massive connections. The Marauder's going to be going down. And it looks like Zouni might barely be able to hold on here. Still has that 1 Reaver. What a mass back. Oh my god. Yeah, clutch save. Very clutch save. Saves the Reavers, cleans up the army. We had some massive shots going off, and Zoun does barely hold on. Behind this, remember, he's on 4 bases, still trying to get his 4th base up and running. Here's third, just not getting saturated. Just not building up. But again, a better fight for Zoun. Behind this, going for a Stargate. Okay, interesting. This might just be for Scouts and Corsairs to help against the Medevacs. But we'll see if we go one step further and go for a beacon and go into Sky Toss. You're in a tribunal. We shall see. Sounds being active. Loving the shuttle play. At the same time, Cure does drop into the main base. Remember, there's no recall. Yeah, there's no recall here. We're going for the Temple Archives. Archives goes down. Results as well. This drop is getting out of hand. Yeah, it's getting out of hand here. Reaver comes in. Reaver goes down. Oh my god. That's some expensive losses. Again, there's no base recall here, for example, so Zoun has to race all the way back home. And he's just being torn apart. A triple drop here top left. And again, how do we defend? How do we keep up? Zanny's coming. He's trying to. And Kyrie's just abusing the weakest part of Broodor Protoss, that's its mobility. Broodor Protoss is very mobile. You're heavily reliant on gaining map control. Gaining map control, having map awareness, spotting drop play ahead of time. If you don't, you will lose everything. You will lose everything. Yeah, drop goes back in. The main base will be defended, but I can't say the same about the sea. And Zanny commits. Zanny's forced to commit. Oh my god. Yeah, massive mine shots. Mine to connect. Cure pulls away. Zoun who loses the entire mineral line and the base. Ooh, the army clumps up though. Okay, we're going for it. Yeah, Zanny sends it. He sends it. He's all in. Takes out most of the bio army. More shots going off. Oof. Bunker goes down. On the high ground, we still have some fire, but the natural race is going to fall. And Zoun, can he keep going? Can he go all the way? Again, Curie's one of the stronger players in his team, and to go down early on like this, yeah, it'll be a huge win for onside. As he takes over the natural at the same time, and Curie kills the third, jumping back into the main. We're getting messy. We're getting messy. Zoun, he does have reinforcements back at home though. Yeah, has a production. Nice shot. Oh, the bait. Yeah, nice split. Nice split towards the end. Zoun a little bit messy here, but does save those Reavers. Marines that get behind the mineral line. We're getting rowdy here as Cure. He's breaking the natural as well. Oh, the mine shots. Yeah, the Reaver shots are brutal. And Reaver shots they pop off. Drop is still active in the main base, by the way. That one Marauder. And we're going to have one base versus one, essentially. We have half a base mining in the main base. We have 2 probes here at the natural. Third base is fully operational, though. Completely operational here for Zoun. And he has more mining, more of an economy. Reavers are ready. Got so many shots loaded up. So he's being chased down, and Zoun should still have enough here. Retain the Reavers, defends back at home, has an economy. With that, the Liberators, they go down. Massive Reaver connections here in the Bio Army, and with that, Zoun, he's doing it. The 2-0? That's crazy. As he gets into the mineral line, more CVs going down. The surviving workers, they didn't survive. Happy. And GG gets called. GG gets called. Zoun takes down Cure 2-0. Whew. GG, well played. Zoun, he will claim the series here. Again, Cure, he is I mean, starting yesterday, I would have said that Cure was the ace player for Team Liquid, to be honest. Like, Cure, he's the best Terran in StarCraft Evolution, and to go down here to Zoun, I mean, game one was brutal. Cure being overly aggressive, if you remember. Cure, he was being overconfident, overly aggressive, and in game one, Cure, he lost a lot of momentum and he lost map control and everything went south real fast and real quick there for Cure. Zoun almost threw the game in game one, but again was able to still hold on and maintain that lead. Here in game number two, we saw that Cure, he likewise was doing some great damage with the drop play, and he forced a base trade. Essentially, he forced a base trade, and when it comes to the main army, that is where Zoun had the advantage. He had the stronger main force. He had, of course, all those Reavers gaining so much value over time. Likewise, it did feel like, based on how Cure was playing, he was hoping to end the game earlier. I'm referring to his Raven move out, and he had some really clutch moments, but it felt like every time the disables were a couple seconds too late. Like, he would dive in, disable everything, but he would still always take like 1 or 2 shots in the face. Like, the Reaver shots were still brutal, and it felt like that with those pushes, Cure was hoping to kill. Was hoping to kill his opponent, break through and deal more meaningful damage, but every time, due to some of those connections, Zoun would hold. He would hold on, he'd defend, he'd deflect the army, and just, again, eventually maintain control. GG. GG, well played. Get a very chaotic finale here to the game with that pseudo base trade, but with that Zoun, he will take down Cure 2-0, and now we're getting ready for game number 2, or sorry, for our second series. Zoun stays on, and who do we send out against Zoun? Now, when it comes to our team, sorry, who do we send out against Zoun? Who do we want to spend early on? So, I said something earlier, how up until yesterday I would have said that Cure was the ace player for Team Liquid. At this point, I'm probably on the Team Liquid a laser hype train, where a laser was looking very impressive yesterday. So I do think that he's still kind of like the ace in the hole for Team Liquid, but you don't want to send him out early on. At the same time, Clem is still like a bit of an enigma here. Like, he did look very good yesterday. He did look much better than previously, that is true. We'll see if that trend continues here. I feel like we probably want to hold on to a laser, but we'll see. Pressure's on Team Liquid. Who do we send out? Oh, okay. So we are going to be sending out the Polish Zerg player. It is going to be a laser. Oh boy. Bold move. Bold move, Team Liquid. We're sending out a laser a little bit earlier here. I understand the rationale of not wanting Zoun to get too much momentum. It's also possible that maybe Clem feels more comfortable and more confident against Terran, if he were to play against Ryung or Maru. But here we go. Here we go. Meanwhile, before I get ahead of myself, it happened during the game, but a big shout to Vindicta, Miguelito, Papi God. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Vindicta, for the raid. Hope you had a great stream. Hope you had a great ladder session. Hope you had a great time. Thank you. Thank you so much. We do appreciate it. Again, do apologize. This happened a couple of minutes ago during the game itself. I was just, focusing on the game itself, but thank you so much. Thank you so much for the raid. Gracias, Papi. Gracias. Hope you had a good time. As spawning in the right-hand corner of BlackRock, we have the Polish Zerg player, the SC2 Zerg, representing Team Liquid. It is a laser. And spawning in the bottom hand corner, we have the Brood War Protoss, the red Protoss. It is, for onside, Zoun. He just took down Cure 2-0, so already a big win for onside and a big win for Zoun. He's already done his job. A laser, he's coming in showing and featuring hyper aggression these past couple of weeks. Now, a laser has been going for almost non-stop 2 base all-ins, like 2 base all-ins, 3 base all-ins. A laser has been hyper aggressive, but what's important is that it has been working. It has been working. Like a laser, his aggression, he's taken down some big names, some big players. Here does go Hatch Pool, going for a slightly later Gas Geyser here, so a little bit safer play out of a laser. We'll keep an eye on how he does spend his gas. But we expect aggression, because again, a laser has just been non-stop all-ins, and he's been knocking down everyone. It's crazy. Whether it's Brood War Zerg or SC2 Zerg. So we'll see if Zoun can keep up with that aggression. Look, we're saving Clem's powder. I mean, again, I would assume that maybe Clem isn't feeling too confident against Protoss, and it's more of like a matchup thing. I would assume that's the case. but we'll see. Or maybe they just feel confident the laser can all kill. True. That's an early forge. Hello. That's a very early forge here out of Zoun. Are we going to go Stargate? Typically, what we have been seeing here, if we go for an early forge, it's for a forge, in a Stargate, yep, into a scout opener, into attempted sky toss. The reason for this forge, the rationale is just cannons. It is cannons to defend. So defensive like cannon setup here into scout. Bearing in mind the Scout is different from the Brood War Scouts back in the day. The Scout has been buffed quite heavily to be a little more viable, a little more useful. It has a similar role to the Void Ray, where the Scout can hunt down Overlords and can also help defend against early game aggression. It's typically a stepping stone. I think it takes 3 Scouts to one-shot a drone. I think it's 3, if I recall correctly. I can't recall if the numbers have changed a little bit with some of the changes. With some of the patches. Oh. So, Stargates, we're still assuming Scouts. Yep, Scout opener to hunt down the Overlord. But we're not going double Stargate. We're going Robo. Interesting. So, so far, bearing in mind this Robo is hidden. It is hidden here at the natural base. The Overlord is not aware as to what's going on. Are we going for a delayed Reaver drop? Curious. Meanwhile, we spoke earlier about how we were going for late gases, and I was curious what the gas is going to be spent in. 2 gases here in the main base, 2 gases at the natural. We're going for a very fast 2-base lair. This is in my mind. I was focusing so much here on the Stargate. This is a 2-base all-in. This was like a, what, 320? Like a 320 lair timing. Insanely fast lair. This was a lair before link speed, by the way. So it was lair first. Lair first into fast hydrogen, into what looks to be a very, very fast 2-base hydro all-in. Jesus. And Zoun is taking up so much. Remember, Zoun, he went Stargate, Scout, into Robo, into Bay, into Citadel, into Gateways. Like, we're taking up so much here. This means that the army is very small. We'll see if Alasia does go for the all-in. Like, in my mind, we're taking up so quickly here into 2-base Hydra that it's got to be an all-in. But we'll see if Alasia decides to expand and drone. A hatchery makes sense at least for larva, but whether or not Alasia drones, we'll see. As the Scout sees everything. Yeah, the Scout does confirm how late the hatchery is, and the Scout sees the gases, the hydrogen as well. Hydras are amassing. We're about to get rowdy. About to get rowdy. So, if this is an all-in, and it looks to be an all-in, there's going to be Reaver defense. Like, depending on these Reaver shots, Zoun can hold, but a lot of it's going to be dependent here on these Scarab connections. We've built up 5 Scarabs so far. 3rd base just for larva, no extra drones. Here comes the all-in. And here comes the all-in, so just mass hydro, flooding lings across the map as well. Of course, all these units are going to be vulnerable to clumping to the Reaver. And now we have 2 Reavers. First shot goes off. Ooh. Catching out 2 Hydras. Yeah, 2 Hydras go down. A laser. He backs up completely. Wow, he backs up completely. He starts up 1 drone. And the pits, a laser, the all-in has failed. Wow, the all-in has failed. He doesn't even try. Doesn't even try. He's like, ooh, like, that's not going to work. So he backs off. He takes a base. And now a laser is in a worse position. A laser, he invested into this army. He invested into all these units and his dead supply. His dead supply, all this could have been spent on drones. On drones, on a faster Spire, on more tech. So a stronger start here for Zoun. He's now going for his counterattack, and we'll see what he can get done. Oh. Yeah, massive shots. Shots going to be going up. Link's going to be going down. Ooh, but the Hydras are coming in, and can they punish? Yeah, the Hydras, they want those Reavers. Oof. As so far, we don't get the best connections here, but the Hydras are being cleaned up. The power of the Reavers. Oh no! Jesus, whew, that was close. That was very close here. The Reavers, they survive, cleans up every single Hydralisk. Sound is moving in. Catching up both queens. And we just bust into the middle line. All these drones are going to be going down. Yeah, drones are going down. The Reavers, they dominate the Ling Hydra. Catching out a third queen. Hydras, they're clumping. Oh my god. Do clump up. We get another shot. And these Hydras, they're just being shot down. Nice split towards the end. Oh god. But every Hydra's falling, and with that, Zoun has done it. Zoun has done it. He has killed the third base. 10 drone kills. GG gets called, and Zoun with the counter push, with the counter attack, shuts down the laser. GG. Oh boy, GG, well played. This is a dangerous position here for Team Liquid. Ay. So, I mentioned this earlier, Clem is one of the weaker links on Team Liquid right now because of his inexperience in StarCraft Evolution. Kieran and Laser are much more successful in SE Evo. For Zoun to start to bring them down, this is scary. Winding it back, when it comes to the build itself, a Laser, he went for a big 2-base all-in. A Laser got baited. I see in the chat a Laser choked. I would not say it in that way. I would say that a Laser got baited into an all-in. Zoun going for the hard switch from the Stargate opener into the Robo into Reaver was really smart. He forced a certain reaction. He expected an all-in. The Reavers completely shut it down, and then it was almost like a build order win. It was almost like a build order win where a Laser was stuck with all these units that are vulnerable against Reavers. He tried to macro out of it, but he couldn't quite macro out of it. GG, well played. So Zoun baited a Laser into a Ling Hydra all-in, or into aggression, and Zoun shut him down. And now we're loading into game 2 here. And regardless of how this goes, like, a Laser's being knocked out. Remember, all you need is one game to knock out your opponent. No shot that Zoun 2-0s. No shot. Again, we were speaking a little bit about Clem being an experienced in StarCraft Evolution. When it comes to the onside team, Zoun is the least experienced in SE Evo. Like, I would say that Maru and Ryung have been a lot more successful in SE Evo, at least in this event. So yeah, Zoun popping off. He's popping off for his team, Bappy. And here we go, spawning in the top right-hand corner of BlackRock. We have the South Korean Protoss player. We have the SC2 Protoss representing onside, leading the series 1-0. It is Zoun. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the blue Zerg player, the Brood War Zerg, representing Team Liquid. Down in the series, we'll see if he can bounce back. It is a Laser. Here we go, and a Laser, can he at least bring Zoun down with him? Can he put a point on the board for Team Liquid? Because things are looking a little bit desperate here for Liquid at this point. For Cure to be 2-0'd earlier, for a Laser to be down in this series. Eyes on a Laser. Now, I stand by what I said earlier. If you remember, how did we open up this series? We spoke in game 1, as we were opening up, how a Laser was going for non-stop all-ins and aggression. And hey, that came into play last game. He tried to go for the 2-base all-in. He got hard countered. This is where the reputation of a Laser is now catching up with him. If we can say that, hey, a Laser's been doing nothing but 2- and 3-base all-ins, I mean, everyone knows that. Zoun knows that. Zoun used that to his advantage. He was able to punish a Laser for the aggression. And we're expecting more aggression out of a Laser here as well. Might be playing a different race, Brood War Zerg instead, but he's not really known for mid to late game. Not in StarCraft Evolution. It's interesting because I feel like a Laser, he was almost like the Showtime of Zerg in SE2, right? At least in years gone by, where a Laser was known for being hyper greedy, droning up heavily, and embracing longer games. Not really known for his timing attacks or for like aggressive mid game. But Laser's found himself a new identity in SE Evo. But we'll see if he can branch out and build up. But now, a Laser opening up, hatch gas pool, getting 2 macro hatcheries as well. Just building up on 2 bases. Meanwhile, Zoun going for a Robo opener. Huh. Interesting. With the early Robo, we can go for, say, early Mortal production into like a Stalker, Sentry, and Mortal based all-in, like into a Soul Trainer all-in. We can go Robo opener into Colossus drop play. That used to be a little bit more common back in the day, and a Laser is going 2-base Hydra. Bear that in mind. So I'm curious if we're going for Fast Colossus, I'm curious if we're going for early Adept Aggression into a Bay, or even into a Mortal Production. Eyes runs down here. This is looking very old school. Zoun, of course, does confirm the Hydra Den. He's aware. I mean, it's, yeah, he's going for the base. So if Zoun is expecting, just like last game, it's the same kind of thought process here. Last game, Zoun was expecting a 2-base all-in and he shut it down. Here, if he's expecting another Ling Hydra 2-base all-in, then early Colossus will shut down Ling Hydra. Thankfully, a laser is droning up a little bit more. I want to see a laser expand. But a laser is fully walled off. He's completely walled off here. He's taking his gases, again getting up to full 2-base saturation. If a laser were to all in, I believe Zoun would have, what, 2 Colossus? So I'm hoping a laser expands. But we'll see. Lair is on the way. Another thing we could see, which might be an issue for Zoun, is if we go Lair into fast lurker tech and we go for like a 2-base lurker timing. With like 4 lurkers. There's your other Colossus. Again, this is some of the fast Colossus you can get. It's a very fast Colossus production. The Overlord goes down. Laser has limited vision. Limited scouting. More Hydras are amassing. And again, I just want to see what happens with this lair. So Hydras are breaking out. Now, Laser does have eyes on the would-be third base, so seeing lack of third base should tell Laser to be a little bit safer in his play. There's that third. So Laser is still massing up Hydras. Does once again fully wall off. Lair is now done. So now looking to claim his third. Link speed is down the way. Hallucination does confirm the mass amount of Hydras. And yep, there it is. Lurker tech. Okay, so we're going into lurkers. But does a laser drone? Does he even try to drone up his third? No. Yeah, the answer is no. Alasia, he just made 16 lings, so this could have been drones. Like, these lings could have been workers, but no. 16 lings are morphing in. Lasers are going for a 2-base all-in. So, once again, 2-base all-in by Laser. He's moving out. As he moves out, Zoun is moving in. Armies are about to clash. Colossus have arrived. And they reveal themselves. Yeah, Colossus are revealed. I don't think Zoun should be here, though. There is some really nice choke points here that we can make use of with force fields, but I don't think he should be here. He's pushing into a play that's all-inning. The Hydras are coming from behind. Ooh, they sniped the mothership. No recall. Sorry, no reinforcements. No reinforcements, no warp-ins. Again, Zoun should not be here. Laser's not droning. He's not droning, Pat. It's a laser. He doesn't drone. Nice Colossus shot surge. Oh my god. Yeah, massive shots. I don't know what this upgrade is. Antennae, are they? I think that's, isn't that like increased overload vision as high as they get across the map? Third base goes down. Once again, Zoun should recognize there's no drones. There's no drones here. Remember, there's a 2-base all in here from a laser. And we need defensive Colossus. There's recall. There's a recall back home. Colossus, they make it back. We abandon one Stalker. It's fine. Zoun is holding. And it's 2-base versus 2-base. But lurkers are going to be a problem here. Do we have detection? The answer is yes. One observer. One observer with the main army. Once again, Zoun moves out. I still feel like it's risky to do so. But he's coming. He wants to end the game. Again, he's not aware of the lurkers. Not yet. There's 5 lurkers with the main army. Ooh, lurkers are revealed. Colossus taking a lot of hits. And he rotates. The longer this game goes on, the better it's going to be for Laser as he's massing out more and more lurkers. Once again, Laser goes for a counterattack. This time, recall's on cooldown. Uh-oh. Yeah, recall's on cooldown. And Laser's going for the backstab. Zoun is not at home. 3 shots. And 3 shots from lurkers. Ooh, Colossus gets low. At the same time, Malaysia moves in. There's a defensive warp in, but that should not be enough. That should not be enough. And who's faster the base trade? Because the laser's already knocking down the front door. Yeah, he's already knocking down the natural. The pressure is on. We got to keep going. It's getting messy. As there's 2 more lurkers and they get a lot of shots off here. They trade well. And there's still 1 lurker left. Oh my god, every stalker goes down, and Zoun is just being too inefficient. He's being too inefficient here. He lost so much army. A laser diving into the main. And Zoun, he lost like half of his stalkers pushing into the lurkers. And Alay's just faster. Alay's just faster to kill these buildings. Zoun just now pushing into the natural. We have lurkers on the high ground. And we're going to tie this up. We're going to tie this up. As Hydras, they take over the main. The lurkers have arrived. Colossus doing what they can. Oh, nice force field. True. Nice force field. Does stem the tide. And again, the Colossus are being very efficient, don't get me wrong, but it's too late. It's too late. A laser's coming. Coming for the surround. And probes are being cleaned up on the right-hand side. Zoun is down to 5 stalkers, 2 Colossus, Hydras. They come in from behind. They're collapsing on top of the army. They start step in. Yeah, they start a step. Lurkers, they Maru. And Zoun cannot fight. He cannot fight head on. He just doesn't supply. He's down to 1 Colossus. And Laser, he puts a point on the board, Bappy. Oh my god. Yeah, GG gets called. Laser does fight back, and we tie things up 1-1. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Again, Zoun, I liked the build initially. I just like game one, it was Zoun going robo. Game 1, if you remember, he went into a Reaver opener to punish the all-in. Here, I thought that Zoun was going to do the same thing, where he goes into a Colossus to punish the all-in, which was good, but Zoun went himself into a 2-base all-in. So it was 2-base all-in versus 2-base all-in, but Alasia had the better tech as he was building up into lurkers. Like, these lurkers, they were so efficient, they bought time. Like, lurkers that built to buy time. Took a long time for Zoun to break through the lurker line, and Alasia was able to backstab and counterattack and break the bases before Zoun could even push into the natural. So I would say Zoun, he kind of misjudged the situation there. If Zoun had just opened up Colossus and just taken a 3rd base, like, he would have been miles ahead. Like, he would have defended against the push, built up his economy, and just gotten further ahead. So, really interesting decision there by Zoun to 2-base all-in, the 2-base all-inning player. Like, it was a bold move, bold choice. Didn't quite work out. GG, well played. With that, a laser does claim this. Zoun all micro, no strategy? Not at all. Not at all. Bearing in mind that Zoun, like, when it comes to the strategy, we spoke about it, right? The build of choice in game 1 and the opener in game 2 made a lot of sense, and I would say, like, strategically was sound. It's just the follow-up here, the decision for Zoun to go for his own 2-base all-in, like, that was a crazy decision there. So I would say that's like a misunderstanding of the game that took place. But here we go. We're now getting to our next game, and we're now going to be setting up here for our next matchup. So the way this works here, now we're tied up 1-1. I say we're tied up, we knock each other out. Zoun is out, Alasia is out. As a result, Team Liquid, they can field 1 more player here. They can pick between Skillus and Clem. I would imagine that they're going to go for Clem. Like, that makes the most sense, especially when it comes to SC2 Terran. Like, he's the best Terran player in the world. So Clem would make the most sense as the pick for Team Liquid. For onside, we can snipe. Ryung is the TVT sniper. Ryung is the reason why Clem switched to Protoss. But Clem has been playing Protoss in StarCraft Evolution, so I feel like Ryung would make sense here for onside. I don't think we need to spend Maru. I don't think it's necessary in this kind of position. But we'll see. We'll see as we're getting into game number 3, and it is going to be, yep, as we expected. Clem is being fielded for Team Liquid. Ryung, the Clem Crusher, is coming out once again. Oh boy. This is WTL flashbacks. Oh my god. For those that don't remember, for those who weren't around for it, back in the World Team League, Ryung was known as the Clem Crusher. Whenever Onside or Team Vitality would play against Team Liquid, Ryung would be the one to do what Maru could not. Like, Ryung has the best TVT in the world, better than Maru, of course, and he'd be the one that could consistently defeat Clem. This is before Clem switched to Protoss and stopped playing TVT, and Ryung is the reason why Clem switched to Protoss. Here's the reason. But let's go. Regardless, we're getting into our game. We're getting into Washouts. The rematch after 2 years, 3 years? After a couple of years, the rematch between Ryung and Clem. Let's go. Let us go. Getting to our next matchup and spawning in the bottom corner here of Washout, we have the SC2 Terran player. We have the Onside Terran from South Korea. It is Ryung. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have the Brood War Terran player, the blue Terran representing Team Liquid. It is Clem. Here we go. Now, I'm sure Clem was watching all the TVTs. We've had a lot of TVTs in the Crank Gathers, in the group stage, and in the playoffs as well, but mainly in the group stage. And I'm sure Clem was watching. I'm sure Clem did take some notes, and I'm ready to see the Mass Wraith. I'll be honest, I do feel like the Mass Wraith style actually favors Clem's playstyle. I do think the speed and the micro and the control that you need to make Mass Wraith work, I feel like that suits Clem quite well and quite nicely, so I'm expecting to see that out of Clem. For those that may be tuning in for the first time, the meta of TVT in StarCraft Evolution has been evolving and has evolved throughout the course of this tournament. And what we just mentioned here, going double starport Mass Wraith has been a very popular style in TVT and very successful as well. What's the reason for this? Well, in regular SC2, going 2-port 2-base or going for 2-port 2-base all-ins is very common as well. And what's the rationale for that? Air control. Air control is so crucial in TVT, and in SC2 TVT, going into Mass Viking is a very common strategy to take over the air and then to take over the ground. You go into Mass Viking, dominate the skies, then go into your tanks and into your liberators to make use of that extra vision that you have and that air control that you've gained as well. Now, in Brood War Terran, it's a different dynamic. You don't have Vikings. What do you have? Wraiths. And Wraiths, they control very differently. Wraiths, they have less range. They have less range than a Viking. So in Viking versus Wraith, the Viking shoots first. The Viking does shoot first. That is true, but the Wraith is faster. The Wraith is faster, and the Wraith can cloak as well. And what we have been seeing is SC2 Terran players having a really hard time scanning in time or getting vision in time, just because the Wraith can cloak, close the distance, snipe some Vikings, then dip away, and then you can just like hit and run with Mass Wraith. I might be getting ahead of myself. Ooh, third CC. Okay, greedy build out of Clem, going for the third CC before the starport. So hyper greed out of Clem is cutting corners. I do like this. Clem, he's being a little bit cheeky. He's being cheeky in his play. And again, I might be getting ahead of myself discussing Mass Wraith. I would imagine we're going to see that in this series at some point. And especially because we have Maru in the backline as well, so we're gonna be seeing a lot of TVTs here tonight. We have Clem, Ryung, and Maru remaining, so we'll discuss that first. We might not get that in this game, but keep that in the back of your mind for the rest of the night's broadcast, because we're gonna have a lot of TVTs. But now, the Reaper does break in. Reaper breaks in behind this Ryung, going for his own 1-1-1 opener. Now, what does Ryung excel at when it comes to TVT? Positional play. Ryung, when it comes to builds, when it comes to army control, when it comes to positional play, that is where Ryung is at his best. What does Ryung typically struggle in? harassment, multi-pronged aggression, drop play, getting around the map and trying to pull apart your opponent's attention. That's where Ryung typically does struggle, and he gets his own attention split instead. But when it comes to focusing on main engagements and focusing on main army positioning and main army movement as well, and out positioning his opponent, that's where Ryung excels. For now though, we're going to mech. So double factory, Clem is going to mech it up. Going to make it up here, going into siege mode, building up additional tanks. Interestingly enough, Clem is opening up tanks and he's skipping vulture production. That's a bold move. Typically, you build up vultures to gain some map control, to harass your opponent, to have some kind of presence. Here, Clem, he's been very greedy this game. With the initial opener, 3 CC, and by skipping vulture and going straight into tanks. So Clem, he's cutting all of these corners, and this means that if Clem is not punished coming into the mid game, Clem is going to have the better economy and he's going to have a massive tank count as well. So Clem is cutting every corner you can, being as greedy as possible. Meanwhile, Ryung is playing standard. You can see here Macfill accelerators, Cyclone, Battle Mech. Battle Mech is designed to fight against the vultures, to fight for map control. Battle Mech is not designed to push into tank lines like this. So Ryung is playing standard, Clem is being greedy, Clem is getting ahead. He's gaining a lead, he's getting ahead here. Now this mass Cyclone style is good when it comes to defending against wraiths, defending against vultures, gaining map control, that is true. These Cyclones can break a siege line. How? With Ravens. Ravens would disable. Ryung will have a moment here where he can try to push into the third base, disable the tanks, and try to move in. Like, there's a world where that can happen, but the problem is that we have a scan, we confirm the mech, but the problem is that because Clem has such a high tank count early on, I don't think there are going to be enough disables. I think there are going to be too many tanks to disable where Clem can secure his third and snowball out of control. That's my concern here. Is the lack of energy here to break through a siege line. Ryung is moving out. Again, he's quote-unquote gaining map control, but Clem isn't even fighting for it. For the time being, ooh, we do snipe one Cyclone already. Yeah, one Cyclone goes down. Tanks are revealed. We're down to 3 Cyclones. Again, Ravens, they can disable one of these tanks, but we have 4 getting in position. It's going to be 4 tanks. You can see the Raven poked in, saw the tank line, and Ryung backs off. He backs off. And he's still making more Cyclones. Again, like, Cyclones, they're very good when it comes to like hit and run tactics, like coming in and denying a push and picking up some key units, but in head-on fights, we'll see. Like, we do have 4 Ravens, right? That's a heavy Raven count, but there are 6 tanks. You can see Clem is just keeping up with the rotations. Now we switch into tank production. Ravens are still looking for a way in. And again, this can work against a lower number of tanks, but because Clem is making 4 tanks at a time, it's just mass tank, there's no way in. Oh. Lock on one tank doesn't quite bring him down. Not quite. Now, I will say that Ravens do scale better coming into a longer game. That is true. Like, the Ravens, they have a lot of value getting into a longer game state. But I would say that Ryung, all these Cyclones are kind of dead supply. They haven't really achieved anything yet, and I don't know if they ever will achieve anything. As Clem is going to try to cut off the army. Yeah, Ryung is being bullied back. We have how many? 17 tanks. By the way, Clem could he might just be able to push and kill. He might just push and kill at this point. 17 tanks. Ay, ay, ay. Again, it's just make nothing but tanks back. Just pure tank. Cyclones, they do catch some reinforcements. Okay, we're getting some damage here. Clem out of position. And Clem is out of position. We don't get a lock-on the CC, so it won't go down. We get a lock-on towards the end, and can we kill? Does catch fire, and should go down. Should go down without a repair. At the same time, though, tanks, they try to lock down the Cyclones. Mass disable. Cyclones, they do break out. Yeah, they do manage to get away, getting 1, 2, 3 tanks. So overall, very nice moves here by Ryung. Ryung, he kills the 4th CC. He kills 3 tanks. Oh, but he will lose the Cyclones. And he had to spend a lot of energy here. Oh no! Losing a Raven. Massive pickoff. We'll lose 1 or 2? 2. We'll lose 2 Ravens. But Ryung does at least get some value here. So this was a really nice move here from Ryung. Killing a base, killing 3 tanks, does pivot away. But can he survive the main push? Ryung shoots first. Ooh. Yeah, Ryung shoots first. Clem has to back off. Now, you can be, like, you can have double the tank count. That won't matter if your opponent sieges first. If Ryung is in position, if he's the first to siege, then he will shut you down. Yep, Ryung shoots first. He still, Ryung, he still gets free shots. Free shots on the main army. Liberators they move forward. Clem takes some heavy losses here. Bleeding out a lot of tanks. And again, you might have the higher tank count, but pushing into a pre-sieged army is very difficult. And this is what we mentioned at the beginning of the game, how Ryung has some of the best positional play just in StarCraft period. As Ryung is now moving out, Clem gonna try to find another way in. Ryung's coming. Baits in the Goliaths. I almost said Cyclones. Yeah, baits in the Goliaths. Clem, he could backstab. He could try to bypass the main army and hit center left. But that would create an opening. And Liberation has arrived. Yeah, forcing the unsiege. Gets 1 tank. Gets 2. 2 tanks go down. From 17 down to 10. Yeah, mass disables. Mass disables as well. Tanks are coming in. Goliaths are on their own. They're on their own. They do take down the Ravens at least, but we have more disables coming in. They're getting a little bit messy here. Disables are about to run out. Yeah, they're running out. Oof. But Ryung still does outtrade. Even here, punishes the Goliaths down to 3 Goliaths. But very messy towards the end. Ryung, he did bleed out all of his Ravens. He did lose a lot of Liberators. It was very, very messy towards the end. I would say Clem took a better fight overall, considering what we had. You can see here, Ryung, he lost 8 tanks. 8 tanks and 4 Liberators against 6 tanks and 17 Goliaths. Gets another tank. Ryung moving in. Clem on the south side. Tanks are being tied up. Uh-oh. He's pushing forward. It does push forward. Liberators overextend. Yeah, big overextension there from Ryung. Even here, getting within range of Liberator. Ryung slipping up. Oof. Jeez, oh god, just 3 shots. Same time, Ryung losing 2 tanks. 2 tanks go down. I believe Clem should snipe this tank with the scan. Oh. Where's the scan? There it is. Doesn't hit the tank. As Liberator does dominate the ground, we do see Ryung taking more expansions, taking more bases, taking some hybrid bases as well. Does get some hybrid expansions. You can see Ryung trying to force his way into the natural. Clem going for the backstab. He's going for the counterattack. Now, this is risky. Clem, he will kill bases, but at the same time, Ryung might be able to take down this expansion and push into the natural, right? The natural's right next door. And that's crucial. Well, that's a little more devastating. Meanwhile, this middle line goes down. Ryung, he has to keep going. He has to keep going. He's pushing further in. Oh, running into the tank line. Clem turns around. And Ryung, he's going for the northern base. Okay. Let's go for the northern expansion. Clem coming from behind. Ryung's about to be surrounded. He's about to be surrounded. Ryung's in trouble. Oh, the rally! Oh god, the miss rally! No, Clem! Yeah, he miss rallies into the army. Heavy losses there for Clem. That should not have happened. Yeah, GG. GG gets called. Miss rally, and Ryung, he will claim game number 1. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Ryung, he will take a lead in the series. Again, Clem, he had a really good start. I would say almost like a build order win. Like Clem going for the faster TC and going into double tank production. It was a much, much better start for Clem. But if you remember, Clem took a lead. He had the advantage. He had 17 tanks, but he took some really bad fights. Clem took some really bad fights. He was pushing into siege lines, throwing away so many tanks and so many Goliaths especially. Ryung had the worst early game, had the better mid game. Had the much, much better mid game, as he was able to take some better fights, have some stronger positions, and dominate the center of the map, pushing across. We saw that Clem got desperate. He went for the counterattack, which I think was a good move, and he was setting up for the surround, but the execution was lacking. The execution was lacking there. And with that, Ryung does take game 1, and now we're loading into game number 2. Loading into game 2 here, and we'll see if Clem can recover. We'll see if he can recover, we'll see if he can bounce back, and at least knock Ryung down with him. Here we go. As we are loading into game number 2. And spawning in the bottom hand corner of Washout, we have the red Terran player. We have the South Korean Terran, the Brood War Terran, representing Onside, leading the series 1-0. It is Ryung. And spawning in the top right hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the French Terran player, the Blue Terran, representing Team Liquid. Picking Terran, actually. Picking SC2 Terran. It is Clem. A little bit surprising here, because if you've been watching the group stage, you would know that Clem, the last time he played a TVP in this tournament, he did play Protoss. But here he's sticking to Terran. So bold move here. This might be because in regular SC2, Clem, he is now back to playing Terran in all matchups. If you recall, Clem, he's not really fond of the new changes to Protoss, the gateway changes and the economy changes. So Clem, he stopped playing Protoss now, and for the past 2 coming on 3 weeks, he has been playing TVT again. I will still say that TVT is his weakest matchup, and of course TVT is Ryung's strongest matchup, but especially in game 1, like, I preferred Clem's opener. As I was mentioning, I preferred Clem's early game up to a point, so we'll see if we can try to replicate that success and try to take that into the mid game as well. We'll see. Now, coming into this double gas open out to Clem at Faster Factory, going for a delayed CC. Likewise, Ryung back across the map is going for his own Rax Expand. So economic build here by Ryung, tech heavy start out of Clem. Now with this tech heavy start, we can go for a Faster Factory, Faster Starport, Reaper Hellion. We can go into early Cyclone drop. From Ryung, we're expecting mech. I did mention something earlier, something to bear in mind, something to keep in the back of your mind, which is Mass Wraith. I was assuming that Clem would go into Mass Wraith. He didn't. I still liked his build though, like the idea of being hyper greedy and cutting all those corners. But now this is where I have to remind you again of that style of going double Starport Mass Wraith, and we'll see if Ryung does embrace that. We'll see. If he does, Clem has seen it before. Oh, hello. Does move out with the SCV, and are we going for a proxy Starport? The SCV moves out. We're setting up for the proxy right outside of the main. So cheeky moves here by Clem. Very cheeky. SCV's on patrol. Reaper moves in. I do apologize. I don't know if you see like some frame drops in game. After this game, I'll restart my clients, but I'm dropping some frames. Which is a bit weird. Meanwhile, there it is, double Starport. You see one Starport next to the Gas Geyser. We see the other Starport behind the mineral line. Double Starport Mass Wraith out of Ryung. If you remember, we were assuming that we might see this out of Clem in game 1. Now we're seeing it out of Ryung in game number 2. So Mass Wraith, this is a very meta style that has been very trendy as of late. Meanwhile, Clem is going Proxy Starport, Proxy Tech Lab as well. Very GG, very committed here by Clem. Jesus. Does Clem just lose? So what I'm theorizing here, if we're going for the Tech Lab, this looks like Proxy Banshee, right? It looks like Proxy Banshee. But the problem is that blindly, Ryung is going to have Mass Wraith. He's going to have a lot of anti-air. Yeah, he's going to have plenty of Wraiths here, and it is Banshee. Now, the Cloak is a bit of a twist, bearing in mind that that Ryung has no comp station. There is no comp station right now, not at the natural or the main base. What do you need to make a comp station? An armory. An armory is needed as a prerequisite to make that building. So, without an armory, without detection, Cloak Banshee might achieve some damage here, or will achieve damage. Reavers they pick in, and they get a full scout. So yeah, they get a full scout, they confirm. Wraiths are revealed. Cyclone lock-on should be broken. Oh, bit of miscontrol. It's going to be broken. We're still building up more Wraiths. There's a scan, we get another lock-on, and we get even more damage, and oh, the Wraith barely gets away. But I still don't see an armory, I still don't see a comp station. The Banshees, when they reveal themselves, they're going to do critical damage. Going to do critical damage here. What's also important is that the Reapers confirmed that there are Wraiths, so Clem wasn't tempted to go in before Cloak. He was not tempted. Cyclone does pull away, does take down one of the Wraiths. Cloak is now done, and the Banshees, they are about to move in. Yeah, they're about to move in. Zero detection. Do we just insta GG? Like, are these two Banshees, are they enough to just force to just end the game? Because here we go. We got one Banshee in the natural. We got one Banshee in the main base. SCVs are going down. Zero detection. Hands off the keyboard. Like, yeah, that's game. That's game. All the SCVs are going to be going down. And Ryung, he's forced a counterattack. Back at home, we just need some Vikings. Oh, sorry, there aren't going to be any Vikings, but we just need some Cyclones. But every SCV will fall. Zero detection. Race they move out. There's anti-air. They get one. They get two Cyclones. Is there a world where these Wraiths kill all the Cyclones and kill the Marines? I don't see it happening. It shouldn't. Oof. Okay, Banshees, they punish the move out as well. As again, Ryung is all in. And this is still popping up. Yeah, it's still popping up here. Comp station is now morphing in. Ryung, he's down to 25 SCVs, baby. Ay, ay, ay. So again, Clem going for the cheese, going for the proxy, spicing it up with the Cloak Banshee. This is game-ending damage. This is game-ending damage here. Ryung is down to 22 SCVs. So Clem, he might not 2-0, but he will at least bring Ryung down with him. We'll bring him down with him. And I like the thought process here, just like avoid the mid game, avoid the late game, just avoid a longer game against Ryung. Because that's where Ryung is at his best, right? He's at his best, he's at his strongest in a longer game. So Clem just avoids that. It's like, man, I'm not going to macro in TBT. It's crazy. True. As Clem cleans up all the Wraiths, shuts him down. GG gets called, and Clem, he brings down Ryung with him. GG. Whew, GG, well played. We do go 1-1, and with that, they are both knocked out. So Clem is out, Ryung is out, and now we have a revive. So winding it back here, for onside, this was only the second player, so onside they will field Maru. Maru, he is the next player for Team Onside. Meanwhile, and I should restart my client. Meanwhile, Team Liquid, they have to choose. They have to choose here who they want to bring back. Now, we could try to snipe Maru. We do have the choice here for either Cure or a Laser, or Clem, but I would lean more towards Cure and a Laser here. They're more obvious picks. And it's on Team Liquid to decide who do we favor most against Maru. Do we favor Cure in a TVT or a Laser in a ZVT? A Laser has been hyper aggressive and has been showing us a lot of all-ins, a lot of aggression. So a Laser, if we believe that we can all-in Maru, then a Laser would be the pick there. If we want to try to out-macro Maru, then Cure would be the pick. It also depends on how the players feel, right? Like Cure and a Laser, like who's feeling better on the day, who's feeling a little more on point, a little more in form, who feels more confidence coming into this Revive series. So here we go. So, oh, we have the answer, and I do approve. I do approve here. It is going to be a Cure. Cure is revived, and it's going to be Maru versus Cure in another TVT. Let's go. Let us go. So again, the way this works here is that Maru needs to win. If he wins this game, he wins the series, then it will be over. Cure needs to 2-0. He needs to 2-0 here, as he is the revived player for Team Liquid. Let's go. We are loading into Sylphid. Okay. Just catching up and spawning in the bottom left-hand corner here of Sylphid. We have the South Korean Terran player. We have the blue Terran representing Team Liquid. It is Cure. Yeah, what's happening with the frames today? And spawning in the top side, we have the red Terran player. We have the South Korean Terran for onside. The Broodor Terran, it is Maru. Let's go. Let us go. So again, Team Liquid, they're on their last life. They're on their final player here. Cure needs the 2-0 to win, to try to fight back and to force the revive. Maru needs to win one game. He needs to win one game here to win it all for onside. Let's go. Again, Cure, he is the ace player for Team Liquid. He is picked as their ace player here to rise up and to challenge Maru. Let's go. I do favor Cure in TBT. If this was like regular SE2, Cure's favorite, 100%. Like Cure, he has beaten Maru now in 2 EWCs in a row. Cure, he is typically the player that can stop Maru in TBT. He has stronger TBT, but this is not regular TBT. This is Brood War versus SE2. Different dynamic. And also, even though I favor Cure, I would favor Cure like in a best of 5 in SE2, but this is a best of 2. One loss, and that's it. It's over. So there's a lot of pressure on Cure here. A lot of pressure. Let's go. As Cure is scouting bottom right, they'll scout bottom right, they'll search for his opponents. Remember, there's a 3-player small map. Maru just going for his own Rax Expand into Factory. Now, we just saw attempted mass Wraith out of Ryung. He was shut down by a cheese by proxy Cloak Banshee. Here, though, I expect to see Maru do the same. I would not be surprised if he does go double Starport mass Wraith. We'll see. Ryung does often share builds with Maru. Does often give him some advice. As the initial Marine does go down. Behind this, it is going to be a 1-1-1. We're expecting a control tower. We're expecting a second starport. Yep, there we go. So double starport, mass Wraith. Again, Ryung does often coach Maru. And we do see the same build from Ryung and from Maru here in Brood War. So double starport, mass Wraith. This time, though, Cure will not be proxying a Banshee. So, Clem was able to like hard counter this in a sense. I say hard counter. There was just 0 way to scan. There was no detection. So, Cloak Banshee just ended the game. Cure isn't really one to do that. He's one to take his opponent head on in the mid game and in the late game. So now Maru can embrace Mass Wraith, and we can see the strength of Mass Wraith come into play. See it all come together. Wraiths are amassing. Kira going for his own 1-1-1 setup. Opening Marine, safety Cyclone. Tech Lab is on the way. With this, we can open Raven. Which means that the race here for Maru will have a lot of freedom. They'll have a lot of freedom, a lot of control. They're now moving out. And they poke in, getting an SCV. And Kira's going to have to be defensive. Gonna have to be defensive back at home. This is where Ryung is looking at this game. He's like, why couldn't Clem just macro? God damn it. It's like Maru gets to play his game. Gets to play with Mass Wraith. God damn it. Hey. I wanted to play with Mass Wraith. So, but I'm sure Ryung still enjoying himself. I don't know who casted with Crank today. Obviously, Ryung was playing, so I don't think he was jumping on us to help cast. I know that yesterday was the STC. And I also know that Crank, he did wear a clown Kigurumi. Not clown here, a monkey Kigurumi. He's an animal, pap. An animal. He went full light. Hold on. There we go. I was being sent, not the first time that Crank has won a Kigurumi one casting. Not the first time. It won't be the last. But here we go. Does move in, does have one of the Cyclones. Gets one, we'll lose a Wraith. So we do trade 1-1. That's a better trade for Cure. As Cure is still building up more Ravens, more Cyclones. And wants to go for an early push. Okay. Now, when it comes to this early move out, there's one tank backing him to defend. Ideally, Maru wants to fight within range of the tanks. Second tank has arrived. Tanks to do siege, and Cure has to be very careful here. The goal here is to disable. He wants to disable the tanks and then rush in. He has no stim. He has no stim, but he does have 2 Ravens. As Cure does push forward. Boys are being pulled. Ooh, Raven's going to be zoned away. No! Oh my god, Baylor does save. Baylor does save. Baylor does not go down. Does save both Ravens. Ravens, they pull away, and Cure does not try to break through. Does not attempt. Cure pulls away. You see Maru now establishing his own third base. Sieging up here outside of the expansion. This area here is very open. It's a very open area here, so if we were to try to break a siege line, it would be here from the side of Cure. But for now, the race now counterattack, and Cure's forced back home. He's forced back home. Just picking away here the Marines. Ooh, does get a Cyclone. Gets one, gets 2. He can one-shot. And again, you can see the power of Mass Wraith behind this. I believe that's Restoration. Yeah, Restoration is being researched. Let's go. Does have its place here in TBT, for sure. For those who are curious, Restoration, that is a cleanse ability. Basically, if a Raven comes in and mass disables these tanks, Restoration cleanses the disable. Which is crazy. There's disable counterplay in SE Evo. It's crazy. Whereas in regular SE2, like, once you get disabled, that's it. But Maru, he can cleanse that disable. The medics, they can wipe down the tanks. They can wipe them down. I think it also works with lockdown, but I guess also applicable in StarCraft Evolution. The race again, they just pick away the Marines. They don't quite, they barely don't get the Raven. Now, when it comes to versus Mass Wraith, like, how have we seen players deal with this? One way to do it is Mass Cyclone. You go Mass Cyclone with Raven support, and if you can And because Cyclones are so fast, they're able to somewhat keep up with Wraiths and contest against them. The other way we've seen it is going to Mass Viking. It's a little bit harder here just because the Viking is a slower unit, so it's a little more about positioning and being ready for them and being able to react and respond in time. Here we see Kira going to Bio, going into Stim, going to Bio Tank. Stim is going to be denied. No! Yeah, denies Stim. Massive pickup. Stim is denied. Ray, stay powerful, they take down the add-ons, Tech Lab, a Reactor, other Tech Lab as well. Barely not the second Tech Lab. They can two-shot the turret. They two-shot Bappy. As Maru's now claiming a fourth base, setting up on the high ground. Now that position that we spoke about earlier that was more exposed and more open, not anymore. Now this forward base will protect it. Does protect it, and likewise the space is also on the high ground. So a much more secure forward base setup out of Maru. As he's up in bases, up in economy, with mech. And Kiri's in trouble. Kiri's in trouble. He's been unable to slow the growth of Maru. Has not slowed him down. Now, with a heavy marine army, like, he can still try to outmaneuver and stim in and try to break an undefended siege line. The Vikings, though, yeah, losing one, two Vikings go down. Race, they rush past. Oh. Stim is still not done, by the way. Yeah, still no stim. Do we deny it again? Thankfully, that's not stim. Denies combat shields. Combat shield's going to be denied. A race, I go further in. Picking up a couple of SCVs. Stim will finish. And we have double starport. So Curi's trying to respond here with Mass Viking. The Mass Viking. Maru switching into more mech. So spider mines are on the way. Ion thrusters, vultures. Soon getting his minefield ready. Oh, gets one, gets two more tanks. Jesus. Again, you can see just how fast the race are. You can just dip in, get 1-2 tanks, dip away. There's just a lot of like micro potential with these wraiths. It's almost like mutas, right? It's very true. Yeah, it's very similar to like muta play. We're able to just go in, get these key pickoffs, pull back. The Terran Mutalist back. But has even better anti-air. Yeah, massive tank shot. So you can see now the tanks, they dominate the ground. And Maru, he's just having his way with Kira here. As you mentioned, like, this mass wraith style is very meta nowadays. It's very new. It's relatively new. And it's very difficult to play against. Armor shred on the wraiths. He does shred the armor. They still just fight head on. Yeah, a bit of a mistake here from Maru. Does not trade well. He might be leading our race, but the tanks are coming. There's still so many tanks on the ground. He might have... So finally, Kira deals with the issue that were the wraiths. But now what about the tanks? Yeah, mass on siege, forcing some friendly fire. That's 2 tanks going down. But now we're done with mass wraith. Now we have a Goliaths. Goliaths are coming online. More tanks, more vultures. Or he rotates. Oh. Does not rotate in. I heard the Liberator shots going off. I was like, what is he killing? Oh, the spider mines. Okay. One at a time. Yeah, vultures, they do dip into the mineral line. Picking up some SCVs, distracting the main army. Now, Kira has been able to dominate the skies. Now that he dealt with all the wraiths, now he's going into Massive Viking Liberator. We can see Maru switching to Valkyries. Valkyries are much stronger when it comes to their anti-air. You don't really need that many. I would say like 4 or 5 Valkyries. They can do so much. Assuming that they get within range. Remember, the Valkyrie's range is a little bit shorter. But they have a lot of splash damage. Basically, Valkyrie's a punish army stacking, and an SC2 armies are very prone to stacking. As Liberators, they do push forward once again. They take down more tanks. Only 2 Valkyries. Not enough right now. Getting up to 5 Valkyries, 7 Goliaths. The tank kind of still quite healthy. Ghost production has begun for Maru. It's getting a little bit complicated. Yeah, a little bit complex. And I still do favor Maru's armor when it comes to head-on fights, assuming everything comes together, right? We're assuming the Valkyries, the Ghosts, Lockdown is being researched. Let's go. It has been a year since I've seen Lockdown, or months at least. Lockdown is the brutal version of the Disable, but even stronger. Lockdown is on the Ghost. Think of Disable, except it also does like trap the army or trap the units into not being able to move. It immobilizes. There we go. It immobilizes the unit. It also does last longer. So what are going to be the lockdown targets? I would imagine the tanks and the Liberators. Probably mainly the tanks. Just because we have Valkyries for the sky. So how many ghosts do we have? 6. 6 ghosts so far. They're coming in. Oof. We're going for a backstab. You see Maru, he does somewhat keep up. We'll lose all the vultures. Yeah, Marauders, they do stand strong. They take the fights, going for the CC. And Maru, he did he did underappreciate that army. Nope. They did misjudge. Misjudge the strength of the Marauder. Even here, Marauders, they trade well against Goliaths. But they're overstimmed. Maru's moving in. There's the first lockdown. Does catch one tank. You can see how long it lasts as well. Lasts a very long time. They stay in. Lockdown is about to run out. There we go. There we go. And Curry commits. Yeah, Curry breaks down mass disables. Tanks will be going down. Cleanse. Oh, let's go. He cleansed the tanks. It does cleanse. Valkyries, they pop off. They zone away the Ravens, but the tank line is still broken. Yeah, we still break through the tank line. More tanks coming in. Ooh, the misrally, no! Yeah, Maru does misrally. Throwing away 2 more tanks. Cuidado, papi, cuidado. That Marine army is still popping off. Killed or did force a liftoff. Yeah, 15 SCV kills. Heavy damage here across the map. Meanwhile, heavy losses from Maru. He lost so many tanks. He lost so many tanks here. And he was out of position when it came to the main fight. Valkyries, they overextend. He throws them all away. Jesus. Valkyries, they're crazy, bro. They're crazy. But again, Maru, he can't quite afford... Or he can afford this, but he needs time. He needs time to rebuild. The production needs to kick in. Maru, he also lost a bunch of SCVs. He lost a mineral line and 2 bases. Speaking of more workers going down, more mining's being denied. Maru moving in. Once again, needs more Valkyries. How many medics do we have? 3. Only 3 medics. Not that many cleanse. Meanwhile, we do go for the June drop into the main. Drops in. Going for the production. Dives in the production. Tank's gonna be going down. Maru turns everything back around. Oof. Some brutal losses here for Maru. Bleeding out tanks. Bleeding out more reinforcements. Medevacs will go down, but this is still worth it here. It's worth it for Cure. Jeez. The rockets are crazy. Typically, this would be the moment for Cure to get these tanks. Like, these tanks, they're free. They're for free here. There we go. Cure moves in. Mass Disable. Does catch 4 tanks for free. Nice pickups out of Cure. So Cure getting 12 SCVs. Crippling some of the production. Catching more tanks. Another drop here on the right hand side. Forcing friendly fire. Maru getting desperate. Wants to move in. Maru's looking for a way in. He does have plenty of Valkyries. Does catch one of the tanks. Yeah, here we go. We have the counter disables as well. Do we cleanse? We do. Yeah, does cleanse the tanks. A nice counter cleanse, and this should be a better fight here for Maru. The tanks, they pop off here against the bio army. They clean up the bio. Valkyries, they dominate the skies. The Valkyries, they kill everything. Yeah, they kill the Ravens. Raven Camp was reset, and Cure, he lost everything. He lost so much. We have Marines and Marauders left over, but he lost all the tanks. He lost all the Ravens, the Liberators. And Maru's coming. But you can see the traditional composition of like tank, Viking, Liberator, Raven. It doesn't work anywhere near as well here against Brutal Terran because of Cleanse, right? Cleanse was huge. Like, to restore all those tanks, to nullify the Raven Disable. Unheard of, Pappy. Unheard of. In SE2. It's not the end all be all, Pappy. Not in the same way. And with that, Curie's desperate, going for a counterattack. Bases are going down though, expansions are falling, and Maru, he's done it. He has broken Cure. Knocking down both mining bases. Cure does try to counterattack. This time Maru's ready. He's got tanks in position. Oh my god, massive tank shots. Cure is denied. He's very on the chat. Did he restoration? I missed it. yeah. Twice now in this game. We saw 2 big moments where Maru, he countered the disable. And GG gets called. Maru snowballs out of control. He will take down Cure here in game 1 on Sylphid. And I believe that will claim the series. GG, well played. Again, a very intense back and forth here between both players. We saw the initial Mass Wraith popping off and doing so much damage. As we mentioned, the Brood War mech army here, or the Mass Wraith, is just so mobile, and Cure had a really hard time. As I mentioned, there are 2 ways to deal with it, either going into like heavy Cyclone play early on, which is what Ryung was trying to do in his game, if you remember, in game 1 versus Clem, was to go mass Cyclone, or to get into a heavier Viking count earlier on. We saw none of that. Instead, we saw that Cure, who was going for like a mixture of the 2 into a more heavy Marine army instead, a bio army, but it took so long to get going, especially with Stim being denied, right? Stim was denied, so we saw the Wraith achieve so much damage early on, and then we saw that transition out of Wraith into medics, ghosts, into Valkyries as well, into a more robust, more complex mech army, with Maru having the base lead. Remember, he was up in bases, up in economy, and playing mech as well. The Wraiths kind of, they set up for that. They set Maru up for success. So much damage with those early Wraiths. GG, well played. Cure, he was playing from behind. He had some nice moments, like he had some really nice drop play. The drop play and the counterattacks were doing so much damage. It was really showing just how immobile Maru's army is. Very mobile, had a really hard time defending those fringe expansions, but again, it was too late. It was too little too late. Even though Maru was losing mineral lines and bases, he had a bank because he had so much freedom in the mid game. GG, well played. With that, congratulations. Maru, he will claim the series, will claim the event here, and he will take down a Cure in that final match. GG. Congratulations to the onside. They will be the Crank Gather Season 4 champions. They take down Team Liquid. They take them down 4-2, if I recall correctly. GG. GG, well played. Just catching up. Just catching up with the matchup, catching up with the group. But congratulations here to onside. Again, shout out to Zoun. Like, Zoun had a really surprising showing as well. Like, Zoun, I would say, is the weaker link on onside, but Zoun, he popped off. He fought hard, and he definitely kind of put the work in. He put the work in as well when it comes to the opening matches. I would say that Zoun, his wins were crucial when it comes to the greater series, because I would say that Cure and Laser, they're some of the stronger players. Or they are the strongest players on Team Liquid, like Cure and Laser. They're like the strongest players. So for them both to go down to Zoun at the beginning, that set the tone. That set the tone for the series. That set the tone for the overall matchup. It was a really rough start for Team Liquid to lose their ace player in the beginning. There's a reason why Team Liquid, they revived Cure here. Cure is their ace, or a Laser, depending on what team they're up against. So to lose Cure early on was brutal. But let's go. Let's catch up on the brackets. Man, as you can see here, we have our lineup. We had our matchup. Oh, hold on. Can we make this look a little bit better? Kind of. Yeah, we can zoom in. We can zoom in. So here with the grand finals, you can see here, onside versus Team Liquid. Onside, they take down Team Liquid 4-2. We were alluding to it earlier. Zoun, like Zoun was arguably the MVP for his team, because Zoun, he put in the work. He 2-0'd Cure, and he knocked out a Laser as well. Like, this was crucial. Like, this was a really important start for onside. They take down Cure, they take down a Laser. Clem had a really strong moment himself to take down Ryung in game 2. We were expecting a 2-0 in favor of Ryung, so for Clem to fight back there was crucial to keep the series going, of course. He did put in the work himself, and I was really impressed by Clem's play, even in game 1. Like, game 1, I really liked the build of choice from Clem when it came to the opener. So very impressive TVT there by Clem to take down Ryung, to knock each other out. And then we had the final players here, Maru and Cure. Maru takes down Cure 1-0. And remember, Cure, he was a revived ace player. Remember, Cure went down earlier. He was revived here for the final series, and which means that Cure could not lose the game. If Cure could 2-0 Maru, then he would force onside to revive. Like, onside had yet to revive a player, but we didn't get to that point. We didn't get there. We didn't get to the ace match. So with that, congratulations, onside. They do claim the series with that final game win for Maru. GG. GG, well played. But again, a big shout out to Team Liquid, because Team Liquid, they were not really expected to go this far. Like, I was expecting CRHB. Like, Team CRHB, they were favored in my eyes to make it to the finals and to maybe even win the tournament. But it was yesterday where Team Liquid had a really close series. It went all the way to the ace match. It went all the way to game 7, to series 7, or to game 7. We had that back and forth, and it was a Laser that was the ace, if you remember. A Laser was revived as the ace player, and a Laser had a really strong showing here against Classic. So a Laser really proved his worth in the series versus CRHB. Here against onside, though, they couldn't quite bring it together. But GG. GG, well played. With that, we are going to be wrapping up here for the season. Again, so congratulations onside. They are going to be the Season 4 champions for the Crank Gathers event. Congratulations. And honestly, it was really fun tournaments. I feel like we got to see the meta evolve as well. We got to see the meta evolve and take shape over time with the group stage, with the playoffs, with the qualifiers as well. If you missed it, I do highly recommend the VODs. I highly recommend the VODs. We had a lot of really amazing games here in the overall broadcast and in the tournaments, of course. VODs are over on YouTube, so I do recommend checking it out. And again, congratulations here to onside for winning the tournament, for winning the league. Again, I was not really looking at onside too much just because of their inexperience in SC Evo, but they put in the work, and they clearly all of their players, not just Maru and Ryung, but Zoun as well, especially here in that final series, they're able to get accustomed and able to really flourish here. in StarCraft Evolution. When it comes to future SE Evo content, not next week we're going to be covering the SEL Masters event. StarCraft Evolution League Masters is going to be covered next week, and the week after that we're going to be covering the Ladder Invitational as well. I believe the Code S season of SCL is on the horizon. From my understanding, September is the month to look at for SEL. For SEL Code S potentially, so do keep an eye out for announcements regarding SEL Code S. Otherwise, we're going to be covering the Ladder Invitational and the Masters event later on this month. Over the next 2 weeks. We're covering that for some SC Evo content. Otherwise, this is not our only broadcast today. As you can see here, we're going to be live later on tonight. That's going to be at 6 p.m. KST. That's going to be at 7 p.m. AST. That's going to be in 7 hours. We're going to be live with the RSL, the Rival StarCraft League. That is later on this evening. That's going to be a co-stream of the RSL. That's going to be tonight and tomorrow. Saturday and Sunday, 2 days of RSL. We got you. We got you covered. Otherwise, thanks for watching. Thanks so much for tuning in. We do appreciate it. Again, congratulations to Onside for claiming that win. And shout out to Team Liquid for making it all the way to the grand finals as well. Congratulations. So again, we're going to be live in 7 hours with some RSL. We'll be live tomorrow with more RSL as well. So non-stop RSL throughout the weekend. And our regular scheduled broadcasting should be returning. So Water TV Mondays, Sparkling Tuna Cup, Kung Fu Cup, Pegasus Cup, the Pondcast, all on a regular basis. Next week, our schedule should be the same as what you see here, except instead of KSL, OSC, instead of Crank Gathers, SEL Masters. So a very similar schedule. Otherwise, thanks for watching. Thanks so much. I hope you enjoyed yourselves. I hope you all had a great morning, and I hope you have a great weekend as well. Full of StarCraft, full of content. Hope you enjoy yourselves. Take care. Also, a big shout to Crank. Crank J1 Choi. He of course is the organizer of the event. He's been casting in Korean the entire league, and of course big shout to Chijik. They are the main sponsor of the tournament as well. Chijik, they are a Korean streaming platform. When it comes to international audiences, it's not ideal watching content on Chijik. There's very little English content on Chijik, but a lot of the Korean players and Korean streamers are there. So if you want to watch some StarCraft POVs and some other StarCraft content in Korean, it's all there on Chijik. Otherwise, thanks for watching. Thanks so much. Until next time. Ciao, bye, ciao. We'll see you tonight for the RSL. See you tonight.